And there was just a moment in my process where it was like, this ends with me. I was blaming my parents, right? Yeah. It is so hard for me to be a parent. And I remember saying, and there was just this thing, it was like, Shanti, I get you and everything, but like, where are your parents right now? They're 5,500 miles away. So you can either continue this or you got to start looking at your own stuff. And that was like, it was a moment, it was just a decision, like this ends with me. And there was another decision when I recognized the internal voice. And there's a whole lot of stuff in between this, but there was that internal nasty voice that I had kind of regulated to the background of my life, but it was still there. And I realized, holy crap, I'm in an abusive relationship with myself.
Oh, boom. That I've heard you say that, sharing that with me a couple of times, and that's very powerful, because people are so distracted in these abusive relationships in the external world, but they are not looking at the abusive relationship with ourselves. And yeah. I think that just alone in itself is a great invitation for exploration for all of us, me included.
And the deconstruct of it is care, and literally not, there's a process, but yeah, removing blame, shame, and guilt from the body, the narrative, the psyche, all of it. I will not engage. Like, people can't even, like, my clarity is nobody can shame me, not even myself.
Oh, I love that. That's true. I like that you are so smart, because you included the most important person, right? Like, yes. The one that is really going to make Yvonne right now feeling the shame. It's me.
Yeah, because if somebody tries to do it and I'm not feeling shame and I'm not adhering to that synthetic narrative and I'm not taking a hook, I'm not feeling ashamed. I've had somebody say to my face, I'm ashamed of you. I'm like, good for you. Like, I'm glad it's you that feels that way and not me.
I love that. Let me ask you something, because you said something, and this has been a repetitive thing that I've seen in the most mature individuals that I look up to, or I can aspire to be a better human by their example, like you. And it's been a very powerful process in my life too. The power of the moment you made the decision, Shanti. And you said there was there's a lot of work that people don't see, right? There's yes. a lot of inner, it's not easy. I was sharing with someone, I'm about to interview Shanti. I'm so excited. And I heard this. Oh, it's for her. It's so easy. It's just so easy for her to be who she is. I was like,
oh, well, right now, yes, now it is.
Now
yes, she's right.
And I said yes, and she's done all of the work that can help us all that maybe are not in that space of self awareness, self maturity, etc. yet.
I say often one of the reasons that what I do is so successful with my clients is because I share all of my humanity.
I love that.
All of it. When I'm not sure, when I feel grumpy, like I have to, I got the message to write up the biography for this podcast. And I'm like, ugh, I don't feel like it. So I went to my group and I let them know, look at how I'm abdicating responsibility. I don't want to do it. I have all these reasons why I can, and blah, 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 right? And just completely opening out the construction of how I work.
Yes.
This is how I uniquely operate. I'm not, just so that this is, it's not going to freeze me. I will wind up writing it. It's going to be fine. But to be able to share, like there's a human here. I share all of the things when it comes to parenting, because really all of my work comes out of that. My children, who are from 11 to 20, I have 4. I am the person who gets to bring them into maturity at the right age appropriate time. And not when they're 50. Like me, or like me, 35.
Yeah, or me, 49.
Yeah. And so, well, I'm 44 now, but it was, this the real, like, boom, when it grabbed, right? Where I was like, oh, this is my responsibility. And that's really how it's supposed to be. Like, we're supposed to be guided by other elder mature people.
That. Yes.
To be that, so that we don't have to do this when we're 45. Like, that would be the natural way of things. But what's really interesting is the same process happens in adults, only what's happening now with the people I work with, it takes between 1 and 3 years. Where it could have been, the 20 years that they grew up, or 20, it's about 25 when you really can guide somebody into maturity at 25, they're ready to go.
Yes.
And then they don't have all this like second guessing, and they don't know how to choose, and they get frustrated and they don't take responsibility because they've been guided with a lot of care, without a lot of clarity.
Yes.
Without the crap.
That's incredible. And then,
well, the anatomy of choice, which we didn't, right? The anatomy of choice is, there is a process that is similar enough that we can talk about it, but it is unique to each person, has a very unique process. What it feels like, how it unfolds, what it looks like, how they choose is unique to how their psychology works, how their mind, their body, their entire intelligence system works. Some people are more somatic. Some people, it's just different. But the anatomy is similar. It's you, and I often say this, many people think, well, I made a decision. I'm like, that's not a choice. The decision, so there's the liminal space where there's a thinking about choosing.
Yes.
And a lot of people get stuck there forever for all kinds of reasons. And I call that the liminal space, or the in-between space. Mm-hmm. And what I do is I actively engage in that space. I choose to be full participant in the liminal space. I don't just sit back and wait. I'm a full participant. And so you move from the liminal place, you make a decision. Like, I'm going to leave my job.
Yes.
But until you actually leave your job, you haven't made a choice yet. There's no choice made. And then there's certain things you're going to make. Like when I made the decision, this dysfunction, this abusive crap from my childhood, it ends with me. I have had to make that choice millions of times.
Yes. Yes.
So I made a decision, but then there were a million choices I had to make in my behavior patterns, in the way that I think, in the way that I feel, in the way that I process. I had to make that choice a million times. And so there's a whole anatomy that happens with choice. And we think, lots of people are like, well, I just make choices. No. Yes, if that's the case, you're making them from default ways that you function. You're not aware. You're not consciously, intentionally making yourself aware of how you operate. And you need to do that if you want to live a life that matters to you, that has meaning to you. And you can also choose not to. It's valid. Like, every choice is valid.
Yeah, every choice is honored. This is so powerful. I think we're gonna name the podcast, Being Shanti and the Anatomy of Choice. I really wish. I'm gonna push something here. This is a book I would love to read. And not to read only, but I have so many notes. I face, a lot of, not face, but a lot of people that always are asking me Yvonne, I'm choosing. But what you just said, until you don't take the action, the choice is not complete. It's like we have immature choices, right? That have to develop into the mature choice once the action is taken. I love what you said. And maybe with that, if you can share a little bit more about that. And with this, we'll close the podcast, but that you are a full participant of your choices and of life. Mm-hmm. How do you see that being not only impacting your life, but benefiting everyone that, I know a lot of people that have worked with you, and everybody, have been blooming more into who they are. They just bloom. And they, suddenly you will see, I know a couple now of your students that will be even myself, I benefited from just being in your presence. It's just I gotta be me more. It's not motivation. It's an invitation for stopping the synthetic and living the true aspect of self. But what is different? I see the people around you that they are choosing to fully participate in their life. How can people know when they're fully participating and when they are not? And I know this sounds like a very simple, common sense question.
Yeah, let's see.
Yes.
So I know that there's the experience for a lot of people have, and I had it myself, of I'm aware, I'm not aware. I'm aware, I'm not aware. I'm aware, I'm not aware. Oscillation kind of thing. I fall into default, which is just whatever programming or indoctrination or conditioning that I did not choose as a child. Okay, so as a child, you did not choose your conditioning. You took it on, but you didn't choose it. And then nobody told you as an adult that you can now choose different. You don't have to stay loyal to that programming.
Oh, I love that.
So you can actually change and choose different. So what happens is people go through things and then they start to realize, oh, I can choose different, but they still go back and forth, because they haven't brought like the light of their awareness intentionally cultivated. I want to know every aspect of myself. How do I work? How do I think? How do my feelings work inside? How do I operate? Not how does the world think I should, and not how I've been told by other people that I do. What is my own experience of my own operating mechanisms? And the more you want to do that, the more clear you get. I don't oscillate. There's not a moment where I'm not aware of myself. There's not a moment where I'm in a default behavioral thing because I've engaged with it. This skill set is now something I am.
Wow.
It was a choice and a million times made. I will not leave myself. I will not abandon myself. I will not disassociate. I don't care what is right in front of me. I will keep my eyes wide open. One of the other things too, I refuse to be shocked by human behavior. Refuse. I don't care how atrocious it is. I won't be shocked by it because I've seen, heard, and been with some of the most atrocious stories and behaviors. So to act shocked about it is a weird thing. Shocked means I abdicate responsibility for what I'm seeing. But when I stay present, I stay with myself. I stay clear.
When I stay present, I stay me with myself and clear. This
but it's a process. It's not like an instant.
Yes.
This is I'm so clear that like I'm in the long game with my people. This is not going, and it does happen. Oh my God. The rate that it happens is fucking rapid. I know for the people, they don't feel like it. But when I watch it, it's like, Jesus, it's just like what took me 10 years is happening in 1 to 3 years for people. And I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. But I'm not doing it. I'm not doing shit. I'm offering skill set training. These people are doing it. I don't own any of their outcomes. They do.
I love that. That's real transformation right there. And that's we're going to go back to the beginning. That's genuine care. Mm-hmm. That's genuine care. Oh my goodness, Shanti. I want to show you, we're doing the video too. We will definitely post this on YouTube because you got to see the sharing of Shanti also live. But I don't know if you can see it. I have notes and notes and notes and notes because everything clicked for me. Everything was clicking on me, especially the aspect of the choice maturing into when you take the action, the genuine care. I have so many golden nuggets here, but
and it's easier to choose. It's easier to choose when you care.
Yes,
like it's all connected.
Oh my goodness. So I hope this is an invitation for everyone to genuinely start caring, starting with the person in the mirror. And I love when Shanti shared with us, like she really went into like kind of full dive into who am I? How am I operating? What do I think? What do I say? It's very rare. And especially in the self-development culture and the hustler culture and in the success over achieving culture, it's like, we learn stuff, accumulate knowledge, but do we really know who we are? And I think that's one of the most important discoveries on our human experience. And actually also one of the most important contributions for our inner world. Forget about the outer world, right? For our inner world, so we can be able to walk freely and to be able to say something like what Shanti not only said, she became that. It was like, it ends with me. All that narrative, all that synthetic stuff, all the things that they did happen to me, I'm such a proponent of that. I do not like to use spiritual bypasses or any type of bypass to say, oh no, you were not abused. Oh no, you didn't have a hard time. No, yes, you had it.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Own it. Yeah, it's another skill set. Responsible owning. I own my entire life.
Yes.
And everything that's happened to me. And I don't take responsibility for the people who did it to me.
Yes. That's so important.
Yeah.
That is so important. We don't want to steal from people the opportunity they have for them to choose and for them to grow. So Shanti, this has been it's being Shanti. Really,
I could do this all day long.